What is going on, you guys? This lens right here is a super turkey, so let's get into exactly why. Alright, and I get it. Some of you are probably asking me, hey Daniel, you just showed us the 28-70 f2 for all of the mirrorless Canon lineups that everyone's using for weddings and stuff like that. And yes, that's exactly what this lens is. And as you can see, it's freaking huge. But let's actually jump into why I think this is kind of a turkey of a lens. Now, the reason I actually think this lens is a turkey isn't because it isn't wonderful glass and it has a really good function that it plays in the Canon L series RF glass lineup. But it's not for everyone, even though it's kind of triumphed as the wonder child of zooms. Now, the 28-70 really is the wonder child of sharpness for a zoom lens. It's pretty much everything you could ever want, with the exception that it doesn't have IBIS. The only real problems, though, is it's so heavy and so expensive, and it is a little bit limiting on the... I know that 24 isn't that much more wide open than 28, but it is almost, that's like the 30 to the 17 range is when it starts feeling much wider every millimeter that you add onto that. And losing the 4, maybe it's not a big deal. I run around with a 35 and 100 millimeter at weddings, and it works fine. But what this lens really offers is the ability to have the low light and the sharpness that you would normally find in the primes. During actual comparison up against, let's say, the 50mm 1.2, which is a prime lens, and so it has everything that prime lenses having go for it, more bokeh, it's naturally sharper. This lens holds up very well. It's not anywhere actually as sharp because this 50mm is at 1.2 and it's razor sharp all the way across through the focus zone. Whereas this one, because it's a f2 and it has a little bit wider of a focus area due to it being a zoom, and inherently they have a little bit less bokeh. And so it fakes having the exact same amount of sharpness as the 50mm does. And it does a really good job of this. Now, due to the current situations at hand, I haven't been able to go to any events and actually shoot with this personally, but I was able to use it during several of our Christmas get-togethers that are, you know, similar to events, as in terrible lighting, people getting together, things happening of that nature. And I was very impressed at the quality that comes out of this, especially in the low light when you nail the focus properly. The only real problem while I was doing these shoots is when somebody else wanted to hold the camera and take a photo of me or somebody else for whatever reason, and I'd hand this over and every time. This is such a heavy setup. There's no way you could get me to lug this around for any type of casual shooting whatsoever. I think I might go and shoot one set of portraits outside just to make a video about doing portraits with it. And that's probably going to be it, unless I actually go to an event, then I'm going to take this. I find there's no other reason for me personally, and I feel like for the most of us that aren't shooting very high-end, highly demanding situations that require f2 and a bunch of really fast lenses to make up for the low light situations. Most of us are going to be served much better by other lenses that are much lighter, easier to use, and still have wonderful quality. And an extension of that, for the more low-end and budget photographers, prime lenses, not specifically this 50mm, but other prime lenses, are going to be wonderful candidates for a lower cost and a lighter weight and an overall better quality across ranges. So if you're going to be shooting a lot of weddings and really racking in the dough for that, and you're willing to walk around with an incredibly heavy lens on the front of your camera, then yes, this is going to be the lens for you, and it's going to do everything you want it to perfectly. But for pretty much all other applications, excluding weddings, high-end events, and maybe if you're doing some type of cinematography where everything's already ridiculously large and rigged, then this lens will be for you, and you're going to be able to warrant the price tag on it. For everyone else who oogles and ogles at it, prime lenses are going to give you pretty much the same quality that you can get out of this without charging you, $3,000 to get that quality, and for the the simple ability to be extend out and pull in and extend out and pull in. The travel distance isn't that bad either. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. We come out with daily videos for tips, tricks, and stuff to help you nail your next photo shoot with your mirrorless Canon camera. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Daniel. Take care.